been a lot of civil unrest in in the world. There's been a few, what I would blatantly say, murders. And in my interactions with a lot of my friends, associates, colleagues, partners, whatever, who happen to be white, they reached out to me and asked me a few questions, and I thought now would be the perfect time to educate. So this is the Dear White People episode, quite frankly. Normally there's a huge smile that goes along with that. However, we're living in trying times, so I'm trying to make it lighter, but this still means everything. Some people don't know how to interact with people of color, more specifically black people, in times like this. They don't say anything at all. And for us, their black friends, it comes off as insensitive and things like that. So again, I'm taking the time to educate and point out some things that you may want to incorporate into your life to better support your friends that look like me, quite frankly. So that leads to one, and again, this is in no specific order. It's just really how it came to me. And as life went on and I was faced with these situations, I made a list. We understand that you don't know what to say. We understand that some people didn't grow up in a town where there was such a level of diversity and things like that. Saying nothing doesn't help, though. I should say not saying anything doesn't help, though. Access. Or say, I just don't know what to say, but I want to let you know that I'm supportive and I'm here. I want to make this point very, very clear. You can have black friends, you can have biracial children, mixed children, whatever label you want to slap on it. You can have a black spouse, you can have a black whatever and still be a racist. Okay? Having those things or associating your thing with your one black friend, it doesn't exclude you from being a racist. If you look back in history, even slave owners had people of color, Negroes, in their house. Those were the house Negroes. Did that make them any less of a slave owner? So you saying I have two black friends doesn't make you any less of a racist in our eyes. It is your behavior. So if you did or said something that was deemed to be racist or offensive, please do not say, I can't be racist. I have two black friends. I can't be racist. My granddaughter's mixed. That means nothing, because you can have all that and still be racist. Next. Do not apply our struggles to your fight in the midst of it all, in the thick of things, okay? Allow us to grieve. Allow us to live in this moment for what it is, okay? The wound is still fresh. And when you do that, you rub salt all in it. So it's okay to reference our struggle to your plight in a historical sense when the time has passed, at least for me. But in the midst of it all, when we're still finding out information, when the wound is still open, when we have been shot in our chest with a bullet that has us crying for weeks and months, sometimes years on end, it's not the time. It's not the time. And I understand that historically a lot of our movements, marches, has been the example for others. However, allow us to feel, allow us to grieve. If you're going to sympathize with the dysfunction, you had best sympathize with the oppression. What I mean by that, if you're going to sympathize with the rioting, the looting, the whatever the case may be, you had best sympathize with what caused it. People didn't just wake up and say, let's come together and, quite frankly, fuck some shit up. Something happened, not only that day, but the month before, the week before, the year before, the decade before. So I totally understand the sympathy, the empathy of the business owners and stuff. I'm a business owner myself, and no, I wouldn't want anything to happen to my business. However, I'm not going to speak out on how people are behaving in that sense without first speaking out and addressing why people are behaving in that manner. So again, if you're going to speak out on the effects, you had best speak out on the cause. It is okay to go back and correct or apologize for a feeling, a statement, whatever the case may be. You might not be as knowledgeable. You might not have been as knowledgeable a month before as you do now. Something might have happened to where your eyes are now open to what's going on. Double back, circle back, and say, I'm sorry. In that moment, did I think that way? Yes, but I have learned so much more. And I'm sorry, sister. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry for how I made you feel that day, or not supporting you that day, or whatever the case may be. Circle back. Believe it or not, it means a lot. And believe it or not, we're waiting. Acknowledgement is a big part of a huge part of this process. Before you point out, there are good cops. There are good white people. Not all people are this. Not all people are that. There's other ways to express your anger. There's other ways to protest. Acknowledge that you understand why we have taken this medium. So, sample statement. I understand why you may feel like all cops are bad. I understand that you have been victimized in that sense, or your people have been victimized in that sense. But I would also like to remind you of the fact that there are some good cops, or whatever the case may be. When you don't do that, you invalidate our feelings, and you make it seem like we just have this irrational sense of what's going on in the world at hand. Yes, we know there are good cops. I've had plenty of great interactions with cops. Yes, we know there are good white people. I know a lot of great white people. However, just like not all cops and white people are great, not all black people are bad. So you guys get offended when you're paying for the sins of your ancestors, the sins of your co-workers. We're getting that too. There are plenty of us law-abiding citizens. And we get the brunt of it from people who look like us but just live a different lifestyle. So acknowledgement is key, okay? Be knowledgeable of Black history and Black culture. There are way too many resources out now for you not to be aware of certain things that have happened, transpired, that may lead to why we feel a certain way. And before you slap that angry Black man or angry Black woman tag on who you think we are, go back in history and find out what led to that. There's museums, there's the internet, and there's your friends. These 2 Black friends you have. Ask them, okay? Ask them. Run things by them. Heed their warning. If chances are, if you feel like something is going to be offensive, it probably is, okay? Run it by them. This is a huge one for me. Nowadays with social media, you have your platforms, you have your dances, everybody's, Don't appropriate. Give credit. Give credit. It takes nothing to say, originated by such and such, inspired by such and such. Appropriation is so offensive. Why? Because on your worst day, on you guys' worst day, believe it or not, you still sometimes, for the most part of the times, have it 10 times better than we do on our best day. So it may be an easier process for you to get your product out there, to get your vision out there, to get your dance out there, whatever out there. For us, it's 10 times harder. Give credit. So we're already set back. And when you don't do that, you push us back 20 paces further. Why? Because now that blows up and it didn't even originate with you. And it's okay. It's okay. Or even do a collaboration. Do a collaboration. That way you're using your platform to actually help somebody as well. So don't appropriate, give credit. And if you can, do a collab. Be sensitive to who we are. I spoke earlier about the angry black woman or angry black man tag. You don't know how many times we got stopped before we made it to you or your neighborhood where we didn't look like you. You don't know what we left behind. Check on us. Ask us if we're okay. If you know the tone in wherever it is you live, work, dine, whatever, meet us outside. Come in with us. You know, don't just leave us to our own devices. It shouldn't be that way. However, that's the world we live in right now. That's the world we live in right now. And until they see less people standing for it, they're going to keep doing it, okay? Commit to being helpful. Use your privilege. I have some t-shirts on the site now that you can purchase. I want to say about 50 to 75%, I'll make it concrete in the description, is going to go towards a purpose, whether it is to help bail out the protesters and things like that. We got you. Use your privilege to be helpful. Don't stand for it. Okay, do not stand for it. If you see somebody being disrespectful, check that person, correct that person. If you see an injustice at your workplace, report it. Use your privilege to be helpful. Racism ends with each and every one of us if we all take a stand. We all need to take a stand. If we all take a stand, imagine the change that could happen. If you want to take it a step further, because some people ask me, how could I be helpful? It's the little things. It's the little things. Something as simple as telling your friend that blackface might not be the best Halloween costume, okay? Asking before you touch somebody's hair, or making insensitive comments about somebody's culture, their food, or their facial features, or anything like that. If you want to have a little activism juice in you, if you see a person of color being stopped by police, stick around. Stick around. Have them be aware of your presence. Record, you know. I'm not going to say that it's going to 100% eliminate the chance of misconduct. However, I would hope that seeing another person there and knowing that there's another set of eyes on them would shift their behavior to how we expect it to be. And that's the same for people in general. You know, if you see somebody maybe in an uncomfortable situation or in a neighborhood at a store or whatever where people might not be used to seeing faces like theirs, stick around, advocate. Let them know that they are not alone, that they have an ally. I say this all the time on my personal platform because there's some times where I'm just so in love with myself. I'm so in love with my nose. I'm so in love with my hair. I'm so in love with my culture. And I like to express that. And I find that sometimes I have to make it a point to say I could be pro me without being anti you. I could love my hair without hating yours. I can love my rolls without hating your thin body. I can love the color of my skin without hating yours. My love for me is an attack on who you are. It is not attack on who you are. So please don't feel threatened by it. When you cut this open, everything inside is the same. If you needed a blood transfusion, the bag is not going to say black person, da, da, da. What does that tell you? I can't help that I was born this color. Could you help you were born that color? What we can do is change the way we treat people and how we adapt to situations. So be mindful, be kinder, be helpful, and don't allow racism to win. Do not allow racism to win. Okay? With a heavy heart, with a very heavy heart, I say thank you for watching.